Welcome the Crockett and Tubbs of fundraising, Lenny Henry and Griff Rhys Jones. Welcome the boys. For God's sake, you're making them worse.
We're here.
Making them worse.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Excellent casting, that.
Yes, very good.
Who else is involved in that? Who's playing Lady Penelope?
Annika.
Annika Rhys.
You forgot there for a moment. You did.
I know. I just just stuttered my way there.
And what about the
Otherwise,
butler?
yeah.
Who's playing the butler?
Jeffrey Palmer's playing Parker.
Oh,
Yes,
that-
my lady. Yes, my lady.
You
It was
must have,
good.
did you have a great time doing it, or was it really
Fantastic.
difficult?
Yes, 4 hours in makeup. It was very good. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you put
You
a lot of-
noticed the
it looks
makeup, didn't
great.
you? Yes.
I thought, yeah.
Annika didn't need any. No, because she looks like Lady Penelope anyway.
She's a good
She
chap.
had the most fantastic 4-foot eyelashes stuck out here. Brilliant.
Yes, it was good.
And those sets, I mean, they're tremendous, extensive, were they?
They are, yes. They were brilliant, weren't they? 400 quid they cost.
And looked every
They did,
penny.
yes.
It was worth every penny. And what
I'm
about
here
the...
to tell you, we don't spend, when we're doing things for comic relief, we don't spend money.
No, it was great. Everybody gave their
Yes.
time for free, even the technicians, which is very unlikely, I know.
Hang on. The cameras have gone out.
But it was a great day.
How about mastering the walk? Was that difficult? Everybody wants to do that, don't they?
Yes.
Well, it was a bit tough, wasn't it? John Henderson, the guy who usually directs Spitting Image, was there saying, "Oh no, you do it like this," and so we were all eventually walking around like this. It was great, good fun.
Yeah.
It was defocusing the eyes that was difficult, because you had to, the method of being a puppet was really, you had to...
Terry's
just
used to
get
doing
into
that.
it, like that was the complicated bit
career
for me.
Yes, the eyes. Like,
I was waiting.
It's the eyes going. No, what about this year? You're not asking for money this year.
No,
No, we're not.
What's going to happen with people we don't know who might feel the sudden urge to
But you
give
think- yeah.
vast
People
amounts
want
of
to
money
do
out
it
of
though,
habit,
don't they? They
yes.
want to give money, but the thing is, this year we're going behind the scenes to find out where the money has gone, and to also ask questions like, why do we need to have Red Nose Days?
But did you sort of say it's a year too many? You didn't want to ask for more money this year, or what
Well,
was the
it's
reason?
become a sort of a biennial
Yeah, it has,
event.
yes.
It's the word I'm searching for. It's become every couple of years, and in between, for the last 4 years, there's been a year which has been like a sort of summary.
Saying
of
where
what's
it
going
went.
on.
Summary.
Where the cash went.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening this year.
But is there much spent in administration?
We don't spend any money on administration for Comic Relief, do we?
Well, not for charity projects, not for the organisation and the fundraising processes.
Yeah.
No money goes from the money that's raised for on the night goes into spending on any of the activities that take place to actually raise that money.
When it was first done in '86, there's always people who criticise anyway. The people who said, "Oh, what about our own people? Most of this money appears to be going to Africa," but this is not true, is it? I mean,
No, 2/3
tell
of the
us
money goes to
figures.
Africa, and 1/3 goes to projects in Britain, including disability, older people. We're working with homelessness and also drug misuse. So, you know, everywhere in Britain, Comic Relief are working just around the corner from where you live, you know. So, you know, we're definitely putting a lot of money. You know, we've raised £67 million since 1986, and £20 million from last year. So.
Does anybody know whose idea that red nose was? Because that...
Now there are probably hundreds of people who lay claim to it. I don't. It's
was
not
my
my
idea.
idea. Nothing to do with me. Was it yours?
No, it wasn't. I
The
was just
really
claiming.
irritating thing, the really irritating thing for the thinking motorist is those people who leave that damned nose on the radiator all year.
long.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice thing to do.
It is nice, but it's a swine when they won't buy a new one the next year.
So they've had to change the design
Yes.
every year now. They had little hands. You have to look for the authentic ones.
Yes, it's
I don't
it
know.
was the hands that last year.
And apart from
I don't know what
Thunderbirds,
appendage we're going to add next year.
I think you know what I'm talking about, Terry. I'm talking about a love car.
what else can we expect apart from racy stuff? Apart from the Thunderbirds and stuff like
Yes.
that? Is there anything else planned, or are you bothering?
Oh no! Well, Tony's.
What do you mean bothering? We don't just sling it together, you know.
Well,
did.
come on.
Oh, yes,
Oh, well, I mean, we do sling it
No,
together,
that's
but
the-
obviously
that's the public line
Yes,
we
yes,
take.
yes. Of course, we don't know. But no, there's all sorts. There's an A to Z of comedy highlights.
don't know, you
from
don't
things.
know, do you?
I do.
You don't.
I
See,
do. I've got it all written down here.
If I were Robin Day now, I'd question you very closely on
All
this.
right,
You don't
question
know,
me
do you?
away.
Yeah.
I know everything that's
You
going
don't.
on.
Tell me now, tell me.
Well, it's going really well here.
There's an A to
Terry
Z.
is really having a go at Griff. And I can see it's going to get really hot in here.
then
He sounds like one of those
help him.
dentist things, doesn't he? Sorry, Karen, keep broadcasting.
Yes, carry on,
You're
man.
giving me time to think of what is happening. There's an A to Z of comedy highlights from the last 4,000 years of comic relief. Then there's...
going to be in it.
Then there's the special competition, isn't there? For what was the funniest event from last year's
Did you find
evening.
anything?
I think it's got something to do with Lenny over here.
Yes, it's the Battle of the Cod Pieces. Between Tom Jones and myself did a song last year, and thanks very much to daytime viewers, and I think, was it Radio 1 listeners, voted that it was the funniest thing from last year, so that's going to be on as well.
Good golly.
And loads of documentaries. Tony Robinson's made a wonderful documentary explaining why people are trying to explain why people are so poor in Africa. And it's complex, it's funny, it's informative, and it's really worth watching. It's very, very funny indeed. And there's special guest appearances from Richard Wilson and Jim Broadbent, Brenda Blethyn, and people like that. It's really, really class staff tes. Nah, mate. We wouldn't steal your bum and mate.
Say no more, you've sold me.
It's
He's
great.
thrown me into watching it now.
The Thunderbirds thing is funny, honest.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you both for coming. I hope it's a great day, and I hope people will still put their hands in their pockets.
Well, I'm sure that hopefully next year we're going to come back with an even bigger and better Red Nose Day 4. So it's worth watching on Friday, 9:20.
Excellent, my man.
Cheers.
Lenny and Griff, thanks both for coming in. Thanks. Very good. My pleasure, fellas. Thank you. I thought you overdid the applause there, Barry. Still, with comedy, you may have seen the papers today. Dave Allen's teamed up with an unlikely new partner, Pope John Paul II. Apparently, the Pope said it looked nothing like Dave Allen. Now, my next guest shot to fame some 8 years ago when she made a screen debut in Risky Business opposite a then unknown Tom Cruise. And since then, her films have included Runaway Train, Dealers, Backdraft. Her latest movie has recently been #1 at the US box office, as well as earning her rave reviews for her performance. In The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, she plays a nanny from hell.
Hi, Emma. Tell me, which one is it? Where? You mean the one with the blue and gray striped shirt? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Watch it, Trippy! Sidewalk! Ouch! My arm! My arm! Ow!
I got a message for you, Roth. Leave Emma alone. Look at me.
Okay.
If you don't, I'm gonna rip your head off.
Ow! Hey, get it, man! Let me go!
Don't forget it. Secret club.
It's like Mary Poppins with an attitude problem. Welcome, Rebecca de Mornay. They get a bit overexcited, Rebecca, but you mustn't mind that.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah. This is the latest in a kind of series of films about murderous blondes, like Final Analysis and Basic Instinct. Do you think this is what they mean by having strong roles for women?
I think that there's a tendency right now in our society to be focusing on the darker aspects of our human nature in film and on TV, in the news, etc. There's a focus on the evil that we can do. Maybe we've always been interested in this, but in any case, there seems to be a great focus right now.
Well, Anthony Hopkins was talking about that on this program, was saying that he likes exploring the darker side of himself.
Well, I think that's all you do as an actor, really. I mean, you explore anything that is human. I mean, you're about expressing the human condition. And you just have to not be afraid of a role like the one I'm playing in this film, which is so dark.
And Dustin often says you have to like the character you're playing, or you don't think any less of the character you're playing than the character does himself or herself.
Well, I think that's right. I mean, I play a very vicious woman in this film, but by the same token, it was up to me to really instill her with as much humanity and vulnerability as she also has. I mean, somebody that's evil doesn't necessarily see themselves that way. And she had her own motivations that were very real. To her. Why are you smiling?
No, I'm not. No, that's my permanent expression. I get a smile. I find it hard to lose it. Why shouldn't I smile with somebody like you sitting here? Just this nanny. Tell me a bit about this nanny. What does she do? Why does she wreak havoc on a happy family?
Well, she's a very disturbed woman who's suffered a lot of loss. She loses her baby, her husband, her family, her home, her money, everything in the beginning of the film, and in the process she loses her mind. And the movie sort of unravels with her mind lost and everything that she does in sort of a crazy, logical way to create the family that she's lost.
And she's cruel and vicious to the children.
But not to the children.
Isn't she?
Never to the children, no. She loves the children too much. She just sees them as her own when they're not and takes it to sort of extreme lengths. But she's never cruel to the children. I like to stress that.
Yes, well then, I mean, I was about to say that you wouldn't find as much sympathy here, particularly among the upper classes who've had cruel nannies most of their lives and are used to being knocked about by the nanny.
Yeah, I think
You
that's...
see, the British would understand this completely.
Would understand
But those of us who had nannies.
Did you have a nanny?
That's my business. You don't have to know anything about me. I'm asking the question. Now, fatal attraction. It's been called the kind of fatal attraction of the 90s, hasn't it? Because people are saying that women are now going to be afraid. Life imitating art. Women are going to be afraid to go out and leave their babies in charge of perfectly good nannies.
Their babies in the charge of perfectly good nannies.
Yeah, they're afraid to go out and leave their kids because they might get somebody like you, rather like Fatal Attraction in the 80s. The idea was, for goodness sake, don't have a mistress. She'll come at you with a knife.
Well, I think that, the film, really its strong points, I mean, it does focus on this nanny that's a little psychotic, but the film really has so much fun in it. In America, audiences laugh for like the first 3/4 of the film and then really start screaming. I think it's a more sort of universal thing that it plays on, which is trust and the betrayal of trust, and it's sort of incidental that there's somebody who's a nanny.
Is he the kind of role that you relish?
I do, because it's so rare that you find a role that has very much dimension and complexity, and this one really does. I mean, it's a fun movie and a thriller, but there still were a lot of different elements of depth that I could weave in.
But I had heard that you were beside yourself with fury when Julia Roberts got the role of Tinkerbell, that you wanted that.
Well, you can't win them all, I got a very different kind of fairy in this film. It was more like a girl from Tinker Hell, I'd say.
Yeah. Would you have liked to when you saw, have you seen Hook?
Actually, I haven't.
Yeah. I think you probably made the right decision. Yeah. Your second big hit it is after a long period. You made that first, at least the movie I saw you first in, with Tom Cruise.
Risky Business.
And he went on to become ginormous. And then your career slightly leveled off, didn't it?
This is the way things go. I mean, you can't really control destiny, and his destiny was different than mine. But I'm very happy with what happened to me, because I really learned how to cope with both success and failure. Both are very much belong to life, and both are very equally difficult to handle in a way.
Yeah. But you'd prefer success on balance.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
I'd also prefer to work in a film with John Cleese, and I'm hoping maybe he's watching, because I think he's the funniest man alive.
He's very tall, though. He's too tall for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does he think so, or do you think so?
No, he's extremely tall, isn't he? Really tall, really tall. They don't have to agree with everything I say, but if they don't, there's no jelly babies at the end. Before you went into acting, you actually lived in London, didn't you? You worked here.
I did, after I went to school in Austria, and I came here sort of seeking my fortune when I was about 18 or 19, and lived in London and worked in various pizzerias, one particularly on Haymarket, and also in this all-night diner called Mike's Diner. I don't know if it even still exists, but I worked the graveyard shift between 10 at night and 6 in the morning.
And then went back and became
And
Big
became,
actress.
well, this
Yeah.
creature that I am.
Well, we wish this creature continued success, and of course, congratulations on the movie.
Well, I
Being
hope you
such
see
an
it.
enormous
I hope you
success.
like
I
it.
will. I will. Rebecca de Mornay. Thank you, Rebecca. If she's a nanny from hell, we all wish we were 5 again. And music now, sell a few discs. Well, not as many as my final guest, who's also sold more discs than Elvis, Michael Jackson, Madonna, Frank Sinatra combined. Computer discs, that is. Sort of play on words. A billionaire at 31, he's now 36. He's aging all the time. A personal fortune estimated around $6.5 billion. $6.6 billion. His idea of loose change is Fort Knox, and his secret, at the tender age of 19, he set up Microsoft, which has gone on to become the #1 company in the lucrative world of computer software. Welcome this miracle man, Bill Gates. Now listen, on a day, Bill, when Andrew Lloyd Webber has just paid £10 million for a painting, I want to know, how do you make the kind of money you've made as quickly as you made it?
Well, the first thing I did was drop out of school.
Good, good, yes.
And I saw that computers would become very cheap and lots of people could use them as a tool. And so I started a company to write computer software.
But what did you do that lots of other people had that idea. What did you do that nobody else had done?
Well, we were the first, and we went in and created new standards, got people to write software that required our software, and so it's used today on about 90% of these personal computers.
Now, I think you've been quoted as saying that the original aim of Microsoft was a computer on every desk. Now, the thing is that really, projections we used to get in the 70s were that by around about the end of the 80s, every house would have a personal computer. Now, it hasn't happened. And the reason it hasn't happened, I think, is because they're still too difficult. You know, you've still got this computer language that puts people like me who are over 30, puts us off. And you know, when you're completely illiterate as far as these things go, I mean, they've changed a lot, computers, but are they going to be accessible to even an idiot like me?
Well, I think we will get one in every office, in every home. That was our original vision. To do that, we're going to have to make them very familiar.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to draw on things people understand. For example, everybody knows how to talk, and everybody knows how to write. In fact, I brought one of the latest machines here because for the first time, we're coming out with computers that understand handwriting.
Well, this would be great. You see, what I want is something that I don't have to type anything out. I just write a thing on the screen and says, send us me bank statement or whatever you want, you know, rather than having to interpret it in a language. Now, can you do it with this?
Pretty much. Let me
Not my
let me
bank
show you how
statement. I
this
don't want the
works.
world to see my bank statement. But I want you to show us this. This is fascinating. So you write, it recognizes your handwriting, does it? Go ahead.
That's right. First, I'm going to just point here and ask it to start up a notebook application. And we can see here my monthly calendar. Let's point in at this one specific day and see what's going on there. Now, this is just a normal pen. I'm writing right on the surface of the screen and didn't have to learn anything special. So here I've got this daily calendar. Let's say I want to change something. I've got a dinner down there, but if I want to get rid of that, I just do a simple gesture, gets rid of it, and I'm going to Monte Carlo tonight, so I just write that there.
You rascal, you probably own Monte Carlo. So you put down yeah, and what is it?
Okay, and now the computer understands that, and it's got it on my schedule.
And it actually will print it out.
Sure, sure. You can search for different things or send it off to other people. They can look at your schedule.
You see, now you have a chance of it. Will these things be very expensive, of course?
A little bit.
How expensive?
Well, to start out with, they'll be about $3,000, say 2,000 pounds, and they'll get down. Eventually, something like this would be less than 1,000 pounds.
Andrew Lloyd Webber will buy us all one.
Let me show you one more thing here.
This is amazing, this, because at least, as I say, I'm totally illiterate as far as this goes.
Okay, what I'm going to do here is show you kind of a business application. These will probably catch on in business. First of all, for example, a salesperson who wants to sell you insurance would come in with something like this and show you your different choices.
Can we see that? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You keep talking, Bill.
Okay, when you finally say yes, then they can just fill it in. Here I'm going to type my name.
Yeah.
And you can see it's recognizing these characters as I put them in.
So it recognizes your handwriting.
Yeah, even though I'm left-handed.
Yeah. Nobody's perfect, Bill. We like you just as well.
Okay, there we got one mistake. We'll fix that.
Yeah. And it recognizes your handwriting and prints it out then.
Yep, and so I can tell it now that I want to place an order. And when I do that, it brings up this little form and says, okay, let's check the credit. And it can go out to its database.
But this is terrific, you see. Now we have a chance. But the other thing I wanted to say to you, is there some way that you can produce a computer for...
Little mistake.
Oh, I see. Produce a computer for someone like me that makes it easy for me to program. See, it's the programming of computers that is difficult. I mean, is there an easy way of putting information in that you can use?
Sure, we're going to make it so you can put in your calendar, keep track of who owes you money, anything you want to do, write letters without doing any programming. Programming is something that it's fun for me, but I don't think we're going to teach everybody how to program.
No, and until you can get that kind of thing, then you won't get a computer in everybody's home. But I can see that you're on the way with this. Tell me about all your money. What do you spend it on? Paintings?
I really don't spend much of it. I end up working quite a bit.
You've got to keep it moving, Bill. There's no use keeping it to yourself. We should all benefit from all your money. Spend it in England. Spend a lot. Yeah. Thank you for coming. This is absolutely revolutionary, of course, and even I would essay a stab at this.
Super.
Bill, we hope that you'll continue to make lots of money, and obviously, you deserve it. The kind of brain you have and the kind of stuff that you've done. Bill Gates, ladies and gentlemen. That's about it for me for the next 7 days. Yes, I'm being locked out on Monday as well. The BBC will be showing a Tarzan film. So if you switch on then, instead of me, you'll get a heroic hunk in a loincloth surrounded by animals. So you see if you can spot the difference. I'll be back on Wednesday. Till then, have a good Easter. Keep a candle burning. Good night. Thank you.